Oh, woo, baby. Woo, slid that rear end. That was bad. Don't gun it on dirt, huh? Stupid ass. Oh, just to try and avoid a car. All that. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Scouts Out. Well, Mark, and my channel's name is Scouts Out. And I am good buddies with Bombgardener here. And as you know, he just wrecked his motorcycle, which is absolutely terrible. So today what we're going to do is do a quick little vlog for you guys so that we can keep you guys engaged on the channel. He's such a good dude. Having a blast BSing with him and talking our content through each other and just having a good time, man. We're building a good community here of people who enjoy R7s, modifications of them, and just straight up riding them. Now, sadly, I cannot replace the fact that good old Bombgardener there, he can wheelie like a champion, folks, and I cannot do that. So you won't be getting any wheelies out of me today. I prefer mainly some good old-fashioned backroads riding. That's my fun thing to do. And in fact, this is one of the routes that I usually take home after work. Sadly not for long, because I just got moved to a new job and my distance to and from work has just gotten considerably longer. So sadly that might remove some of my riding, which will totally suck. But this is such a fun little cruise to work right here and home from work. Honestly, both of them are awesome. But I thought it was pretty cool that Bombgardener did pretty good with that crash. That helmet saved him. Didn't take too much damage other than a broken collarbone. I'll tell you guys, I did the same thing I guess maybe about 5 years ago now, which was I wrecked my CBR 600RR. I'll put some pictures up of that. I busted multiple ribs, shattered my collarbone, broke my wrist, and had to get surgery on that, which totally sucked. And I just got stung by a bee in the neck. That frickin' hurt like... There's the guy that got me. He just fell out of my jacket. He got me good. Missing that stinger. Oh, bastard. But I did the same thing, so give him some support as he gets through this. I'm sure he's gonna come back hard, ready to roll, guys. And sadly, I think one of the funniest things that had happened to me recently is I have a buddy of mine that has MT-07, and we went to go ride together. Neither of us have rode together. In fact, neither of us knew that we even both rode motorcycles, for that fact. We were kind of mountain bikers and lives a long ways away. We met up, got a good ride in, and we started talking about motorcycles, and he's like, oh, bro, I got an MT-07. I was like, oh, I just bought the new R7. And I was like, well, shoot, let's go freaking ride. So we did that. We went and rode together. And if you notice, my jacket is good and jacked up because, well, this is the jacket I crashed in like 5 years ago. I know, I need a new jacket. But first looked at me in my jacket and said, oh, good, you've crashed before. And I thought, what the hell? Why is that a good thing? It's like, you know what? Because you've pushed your limits to the point where you're not going to probably do that again. I think ultimately everyone that rides a motorcycle, sooner or later, you're going to crash. It just kind of is what it is. There's only two types of riders out there. A guy who's crashed or a guy who's about to crash that's on a motorcycle. Now, I would say for me, I got it out of the way within the first 3 months of riding. And let me tell you, I thought I was Rossi back then. I used to try and drag my freaking jeans all over the place with that CBR 600RR. And I barely knew how to ride. You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. You can get hurt super quick. And sadly, a crash lets you know a little bit about your limits and how hard you should ride a bike. I definitely ride my bike considerably slower than I used to. I definitely wipe the push strips off the side of my tires, but I still don't feel like I get it as hard as I used to, which is probably good, you know? Save that stuff for the track. I mean, there's a lot of fun we can have out here, and don't get me wrong, I definitely push it a little bit too hard while I'm out here on the street, but you do have to be careful. I would suggest, like, one of my favorite things I ever did was I took a class, and they required a full suit, a bunch of gear, a helmet, and the point of it was to get my son to go through it because he was interested in motorcycle riding. But it was called M1GP, and these guys basically took 50cc Honda dirt bikes for little kids and they put street tires on them and took you to a kart track. If you want to talk about learning body position and where you crash at, you learn there for sure. Like, the first thing they teach you how to do is basically drag your knee. Once you've learned that body position and you get into it, even though it's on a little tiny bike like that, the position still carries over. Now, the only thing I would say was slightly different would be whether or not, like on those little dirt bikes, if you wanted to get into that position easier, you could actually roll the bottom of your foot into the side of the engine casing, and then the side of your foot would be resting on top of the peg. So it really forced your body off the bike and forced your knee down. ground, and it made it a considerably smaller distance to get your knee on the ground, which was pretty cool. And it really taught you that kind of how far can you get the bike over and at what speed can you handle it before the tires start sliding out. I definitely crashed one of those little bikes a couple times. It was a lot of fun, but it made me really enjoy like slow corner like leaning. A lot of people, they like to do high speed corner leaning. I personally love the first and second gear, slow as hell, and getting that body position and feel down right. For whatever reason, I enjoy that. I've never really been a let's go real fast. Like I'm on a straightaway right now, I don't go fast. I don't care. I've gone fast on motorcycles. That doesn't do anything for me. Getting in corners is what does things for me. That's what makes me enjoy riding, which is probably why I really kind of like this specific motorcycle more than like a larger one that is high revving, where you have to be high in the rev ranges. I mean, you just don't have to do that on these R7s, which is really cool. It makes that little style of riding fun. So my suggestion, if you're interested in dragging your knees or learning how to do any of that kind of stuff, to look into your local kart tracks and see if they do mini-moto out there. And I promise you, like, I brought my kid there to have fun, be a good dad and do it with him, you know, why not? Yeah, when I got out there, my kid was the only kid. So it was more, oh, squirrel. So my kid was the only kid that was in the group, and it was a good sized group too. It was like 16, 17 of us out there on this little kart track just ripping and having a blast and racing each other. And I definitely ate it and slid in my leathers and got them all jacked up. I will say that if you do a class like that or you ride the little mini moto like that, you will burn through your knee pucks so damn fast. Like I would think every time I took my son out to the kart track and we rode together, I burnt an entire set of knee pads, and those get expensive quick. But I promise you, a absolute ton of fun and worth the experience. So if you want to better your riding skill and you don't really want to do it out here on the streets, you know, I mean, I did, and I crashed. I crashed pretty dang good. I definitely should be dead. I think I slowed down to 80 miles an hour before I face planted. I almost hit my buddy on his bike, we were splitting through traffic and ripping. And as I came, it was coming around a bend, and I was going through two more cars. And as I popped out on the right into the right-hand lane around the other car, my buddy was right there in front of me, slowed down behind a car in the right-hand lane that I didn't see while I was coming up on it. And I just grabbed every ounce of that front brake. And I don't know if I just don't remember what happened because I got knocked out, or if my body legitimately just passed out. But it was a interesting and painful experience. I totaled that poor CBR. But I guess the moral of my story here, guys, is be careful out on the streets. It's a lot of fun, and it's like a free racetrack, especially if you're lucky and you got some cool back roads like this that you could go play on. It's a free racetrack. A racetrack full of debris that is going to make your tires slide out. Cars, squirrels, many animals that are going to get in your path while you're riding that you're not going to be essentially ready to navigate around. I hope this was a little entertaining for you guys. I'm sorry, I know Bombgardener's motovlogs are way better than mine. He's a freaking rad dude. I'm happy to try and help him with some content. And I hope you heal up quick, buddy, and get back out and ride. And it'd be totally awesome if we could pull off a little motovlog meetup at some point here before the end of this year. If I could get back east with you, that'd be pretty cool, man. So thanks again for watching, guys. I'll give it back to Bombgardener. Peace.